Hi Phil, it's Kev. Yeah, I thought I'd do a little video of how I did the values slot at the roadshow. So the session starts with the site lead, sorry, the most senior site manager, which I'm guessing will be yourself, welcoming everybody to the session and going through the agenda, and then quickly handing over to Mike. And Mike will spend about 25-30 minutes going through what Wholesale Ventures is all about and what the businesses that make up Wholesale Ventures consist of. He'll do quite a good example on the payphone acquisition within Ventures. And then what he'll then do is he'll hand over to Neil Harris as part of the values section. Neil will talk about the fact that we've got new values in the business, and then he'll do that for about 4 or 5 minutes. It won't take long, and then he'll show a video that's been professionally produced. Part of the BT Group production team produced a video on values and the fact that we've got new values: personal, simple, brilliant, and how we have come up with those and why they're important, etc. After that video, you'll need to get up and talk about the values and what they mean to ourselves and our customers. So that was a bit that you need to cover me for. And I'll just talk about how I presented that, or I'll just do the presentation now on this iPhone video, and then you can feel free to use that sort of wording in your slot. Okay, so you open up as a site lead. You hand over to Mike. Mike does about half an hour. Then Mike hands over to Neil Harris. Neil does 2 or 3 minutes, then does a video, and then you'll stand up and take on the values piece. And this is how I did it. Thank you, Neil. And as you all heard from Neil and indeed watched on the video, values are really important to us. They shape our culture. They help guide us in our decision making at every level within the business. They essentially help define how we act and behave through our processes and our procedures. But they don't mean anything unless we ourselves and everybody in this room, including yourselves, bring those values to life in everything we do, in terms of how we maybe talk to customers or email customers, or indeed how we engage within our own teams, and not just within our own teams, across the wider BT Group, because these values aren't just values that we should live by when we are dealing with our customers, but they're also values that we should live by within our teams, and like I say, in our dealings with our colleagues in Openreach and TSO, or indeed any part of BT Group. So it's really for ourselves to bring these values to life, and to help you do that and help you understand maybe what they mean and what we need our people to do with these values. I'm going to give you some examples of where we're already doing these things, being personal, simple, and brilliant, in our organisation already. So I'm just going to present these now, and as I go through these examples, I just want you to think about how you might apply these values in the work that you do, because only when we're all doing that does the magic really start to happen. And then what I did then, Phil, was I put up I went through 2 journeys. One was the broadband journey, and I went through examples of being personal, simple and brilliant on broadband. And then I did another one on the Ethernet journey. Again, examples of personal, simple and brilliant. And these slides are already all done. I also, in Wolverhampton, I did broadband, and I did hosted voice examples. And what I'm thinking is for Hull for MSL, I strongly recommend that you replace what's currently built for the values and examples, and you'll see these when you see the deck, and replace them with examples of personal, simple and brilliant already being done for your product within MSL, so that people can relate to it more easily, rather than doing broadband and Ethernet or broadband and voice. I would suggest you do maybe what we're doing in broadband, and so you'd have 3 slides, one on personal, simple and brilliant, and those 3 slides are already built. And then you think about building 3 additional ones using the same template, but ones that are examples of what's been done in Hull already. So you just present it and then you just read out the example basically on the slide. So in broadband, for example, we give a named single owner for faults, dealing with faults. And that's so that our customers can get confidence that we're dealing with their fault as well as we can be. And they get confidence, we found, by giving the customer a named contact. Something else we're doing in broadband, and you kind of just go on like that, just going through the examples, maybe a minute or 30 seconds, a minute on each example, and then move on. And you do a slide on personal, a slide on simple, and then a slide on brilliant. And then to wrap it all up, what you're aiming to do is get them to realise that, well, what I'll do is I'll use the actual words that I used in the presentation. So there you go, everybody. You've seen some good examples there, I hope, of where we are already being personal, simple, and brilliant in our organisation. Which is great to see, but you know what? We need to do more. Not just so that working in Wholesale and Ventures becomes a greater place to work in, but also for our customers. They see the value that these values are adding to them. It's also important commercially that we become more personal, simple, and brilliant, because by being those things and by being more personal, simple, and brilliant, we will gain a competitive advantage against our competitors in the marketplace and ultimately win more business. But like I said right at the beginning, those 3 nice words are effectively all they will remain unless you guys bring them to life in everything you do. So please do give it some thought about how you can apply these in the work that you do, whether that's in how you engage with customers and the emails that you write, or maybe if you're having CI huddles, continuous improvement, you're being brilliant and ingenious with your creative thoughts and ideas with regards to solving problems. However you bring them to life is entirely up to you, but please do bring them to life, because only when you do that does the magic start to happen. So thank you for listening, and I'm now going to hand over to XYZ, who's going to take you through ABC. Thank you. So that's it basically. So there's three parts to your presentation. There's the preamble. Values are important. They help shape our culture. They help guide our decision making at every level within the business, and they help define what we do through our processes and procedures, blah, blah, blah. That's the first part. The second part is just going through the examples on the slides. You need to think about building 3 slides that cover personal, simple, and brilliant for MSL. And then the third part is just the wrap up. And that's it, mate. Okay, so I'll speak to you later on. I think we're speaking at 12:30. I'll try and download this video onto YouTube or something so that it can give you something to go on. Okay, cheers, Phil.